Okay, guys. Oh, you know what? You guys didn't hear us. Sorry. We didn't have that on. How you doing? Gary Bledsoe here, coming to you from San Antonio, Texas.
Hey, this is Lynette Bledsoe. Sorry about that, guys. So if you're just joining us, go ahead and give yourself a shout out below. Say where you're watching from. If you haven't, share this with your team. Maybe tag your teammates and say, hey, hey Susan, hey, how are you? Share this with your team.
Sorry about that.
If you have a Facebook fan page, share this with them. One of the things that we used to do is anytime we knew a leader that was hosting like a free live training, we would definitely make sure that we got our teammates on there.
Always.
Because guess what? If they have a question, they can get that question answered live during the training. Because the tips that we're going to share with you, we're sharing the 3 different ways that you can get more signups. Hey, Melissa, onto your team. And actually, this past week that just passed, our business team actually recruited 14 new people. So what we're sharing for you is not just tips that we learned somewhere in a book. This is things that actually work. So if you would like to see something like 4 new customers, 4 new teammates join your business, then definitely get a pen and paper because you want to come be here and see what we're talking about tonight. And Susan from Oklahoma, awesome, Susan.
Yeah, I've been to Tulsa before. It's pretty nice out there. I enjoyed it. I had fun. So hey, welcome, Susan. So tonight we're gonna go ahead on and we're gonna get started with our presentation. I'm so excited about this because when I got started in network marketing a long time ago, back in the late 90s, this was one of the first things that I was shown to do, but I actually wasn't taught exactly what it meant. Until I got into my second, I decided to leave that network marketing company because of 9/11. There was a lot of things that happened, and I wound up going to another company that we actually sold that product, and we were actually number 1 sellers of that product, that particular service in that company. And I remember someone told me this is exactly what you need to do when it's time for you to grow your business, when you're trying to expose people to your opportunity. He told me these 3 things that you need to do every time you expose somebody, and then we're going to go ahead on and we're going to tell you a little bit about that. So if you're excited and you're ready, type in and say, hey, I'm ready to get it started. I'm ready to learn all about this, because guess what? I want you to give me a second or so, and I'm going to go ahead on and we're going to get this started. So just hang in there, guys. All right, so what we're going to do is I'm going to talk to you about the 3 powerful ways to expose people to your business opportunity that reduces resistance and rejection. And we're ready to go ahead and get this thing going because, if there's only 3 powerful ways, why not everybody else using it? Why? Because you got to remember, everybody that joins a network marketing company is not going to do these things. But you got to make sure that you're the person that is going to do these things, because I guarantee that the person who taught me these things at the time, these people were making like $20,000, $15,000 per month. Now they're probably well on making $60,000, $50,000, $70,000, $80,000 per month. And if they use these simple things, see, you have to learn how to master the mundane. And people always want to try to create new ways all the time. Yes, you create new ways, but you still stick with the basics. The basics is what's going to get you through. So these are 3 basic ways that's going to help you reduce resistance and rejection. So let's get started. What we're going to cover tonight, we're going to ask you some serious questions that we do all the time. We're going to tell you who we are, which is going to be very brief because there might be some people on here who don't know who we are, and they're like, well, why am I listening to these people? And they don't know who we are. So we're going to let you know who we are. And if you already know who we are, just bear with us, and we're going to be really brief about it and let you know who we are. We're going to show you those 3 powerful ways to expose people to your business opportunity that reduces resistance and rejection. We're going to give you a powerful call to action step that we always do. And just for listening to us, we're going to give you our amazing bonus just for listening to us. And also remember that throughout the webinar, if you want, you can type in any questions that you may have, and we'll try to see if we can answer it in real time for you. If you're watching it as a replay, just type in your questions, and we'll usually get the notification from Facebook, and we'll answer any questions that you might have about anything that we cover tonight. So let's go ahead and get started. Here are the questions. Let me ask you the first question. How would you feel if you can get more recruits on your business team or on your team without hearing the word no? How would that feel? How many times you get tired of hearing word no all the time? No, I'm not interested. No, I'll take a look later. No, it's not for me. No. I remember I had a girl prospect me a while back. It was about about 2 or 3 weeks ago. It was so funny. She was prospecting me and trying to lead me up, take a look at a blog, take a look at this, take a look at that. And I looked at everything, and I just kind of asked her to take a look at mine, like, quid pro quo. You look at what I have, I look at what you have. And I remember towards the end, I never said anything about I was not interested or interested in what it was. I just was asking a lot of questions, which is what most prospects do. And I remember she straight out said, I'm not interested. Like, just came out, nope, not interested in what you have. Are you going to join me or what? And I was like, no, I just said, nope, it's not for me, but thank you for asking and good luck with your business. But I'm pretty sure that person got upset because, I wound up saying no to them indirectly, but the no was still there. See, when that person said, no, I'm not interested in your business, I didn't get upset. I just said, okay, because I understand that the no doesn't hurt you. But think about that. Have you got to that level yet where a no doesn't bother you? If you haven't yet, we're gonna definitely answer those questions. How would you feel if you were not afraid to expose more people to your business opportunity? See, I just did a private coaching with our clients that we have in our program that we have right now. We run these every 5-week cycles, and I just got through telling them that the reason why they don't make the kind of money that the big leaders in their particular company makes, because it's a non-company specific coaching program, is one reason. The people that made the most money in their company exposed the most people. That's the bottom line. They exposed the most people. So how would you feel if you wasn't afraid? And the reason why they don't expose people is because they're afraid. So how would you feel if you were not afraid to expose more people to your business opportunity? Let's answer these questions a second. But before we do that, we're going to tell you who we are. We've been students of network marketing since 1997. We've had small successes and a lot of failures, but during that time, we became great students. We learned all we could on how to personally develop our skill set, our communication skills, our recruiting and team building skills, how to advertise online and offline. We also created several training videos on these are monetized training videos on business developments. We became co-authors along with other top leaders in network marketing. We spoke to large audiences around the U.S. sharing our strategies and tips on how to effectively use online and offline techniques to get leads, customers, and recruits. We've been interviewed and featured in local and national publications. Here's just some pictures of our family here enjoying some great times, having coffee early in the morning, going to renting a cabana, just having fun. Here's a screenshot of our book that we were co-authors in. Here's us getting some awards at one of the gala we went to. So, just enjoying life. So just to let you know, you're in good hands. We've been in this industry for a long time, and we kind of like know what we're doing. We built a team. Our team got as large as almost 700 people, and we just been out there blowing and going and just doing what we got to do. We went on to leave that to not. We still get paid from that team, but we're going on and we're just growing other multiple income streams out there. So we just excited about what we do, and we love what we do. So we just want to share that all with you all. So before we get started, and I tell you these 3 things, the number one thing is you must know this first. This is something you must know when you're exposing every single prospect out there. A lot of times people don't they don't know this, so when they try to skip to the end steps, they try to get to the end, they try to close them right away, but they don't really. Then when they met with the no, and then when they met with the resistance, and then when they met with rejection, they get angry. And that's exactly what happens to that girl. She got angry because she didn't understand this one concept. And what I want you to do right now, and if you haven't already, if you don't have a pen and paper, I want you to write this down, and I want you to stamp this in your brain, stamp this in in your heart, stamp this in your soul, stamp this in your cells, because once you know this concept, you will never, ever, ever worry about the word no, and you will never, ever, ever worry about the word yes. You will never worry about anything a prospect or a lead tells you, because you know this one secret message that will get you through anything that's going wrong and going right in your business. And here it is. You can't say the right thing to the wrong person, and you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. When timing is right for them, they will join you. See, I always tell people that. A lot of times they don't quite get that. They think that they're saying the wrong thing to the right person. But they don't understand. You can't say. Let me tell you what I mean by that. You can actually be prospecting somebody, and you can actually do the perfect script in the world. You can say it does this and it does that, and it's the elevator script that's 15 seconds long, and then by the time you get to the end, you ask them, okay, so hey, you see why I'm so excited? Are you ready to join me? Guess what they say? No. That person was the wrong person at that time. See, when they're saying no to you, they're not saying no to you. They're saying no, meaning not right now. Timing is just not right now for them. They may have got a promotion on their job. They may have been happy about what they're doing. They may not see the value in your opportunity. So you're saying the right thing to the wrong person. Then there might be a person that you go and say, hey, I just joined the company. Come join me. That person says, okay, great. I'm ready to join you. I mean, I don't know if you ever seen the trailer with the new Justice League with the Batman, and he's speaking to Flash, and his that's Ben Affleck is speaking to the guy who's playing Flash, and Ben Affleck is playing Batman, and he goes to him, he say, hey, I'm putting a team together, and the guy Flash comes out of nowhere and goes, I'm in, and he goes, for real? Yeah. See, he didn't say the wrong thing to the right person. He said whatever he had to say, and the right person heard it because timing was right for him. And that's what you got to understand. You can't say the right thing or wrong. So reason why I'm telling you need to know this first is because a lot of times people are out there beating themselves up. And then they join what they usually get is this syndrome. It's a syndrome out there. And this is the syndrome. The syndrome is called I shoulda, I woulda, I coulda. I should have did it this way. I would have did it that way. I could have did it this way. You gotta you gotta understand that you must remove that syndrome called the shoulda, woulda, coulda, because there was nothing you can do. That person wasn't ready at that particular time. And once you understand that, no matter what you get, no matter if you get a no matter if you get a yes, no matter what happens in your life, you will become successful in network marketing. See, I learned this a long time ago. And the company that we were in when we first joined, our first network marketing company, they always said, somewhere, six will, so what? Move on. Meaning that some will, some won't, somewhere six will, because you had to get 6 people to be able to move up to the top level in that company. And that's how you have to believe. You got to understand that whatever you say is not wrong. Whatever you say is not right. It's up to that person to feel like it's right for them. So tell me if you got that. Type it in if you got that concept, if you loved what I said about that. And then maybe you can also type in if you didn't get that before, if you didn't realize that, you didn't have an upline that told you that this one secret sauce to every successful person in network marketing understands this. If you didn't understand this before, tell me, hey, I didn't know that before. And thank you so much. Because I guarantee once you start getting this into your cells and get this into your DNA and get this into your head, you will not care what people say to you. So the first thing you need to do in network marketing, the very first thing when you're exposing somebody to your business in order to reduce resistance, because you already know you can't say the wrong thing to the right person and the right thing to the wrong person, is you got to spark interest. And what is sparking interest? You just got to get a conversation started about your business opportunity with small talk. Very simple. Very, very simple. Just get a conversation started. A lot of times people are too afraid to get a conversation started about their business. How do you get a conversation started? You have to pay attention to what that person is doing. doing. If you work with them and they're a coworker, maybe this person is distraught about their job. Maybe they hate their job. How would you know if you're not paying attention, if you're not watching what they're doing? And then when you get ready to come to them, you have to do research. You have to see, who am I prospecting? What am I talking about? I remember our great mentor, Jessica Higgins, something that she says when she does her social media training. And she says when she gets ready to prospect somebody on Facebook, when she sends a message to them through Messenger, she's always paying attention to what they're doing. And she's always doing her research by looking at what it is that they're posting. That way she can relate to them when she talks to them about their business. See, what happened with that girl situation, she didn't do her research. She asked me to go to her blog, but then when I saw her blog versus mine, it was like, what is going on? I mean, this is not even a blog. It was like not set up, and pages were missing. See, you got to do your research whenever you prospect to someone.
And just to add to that, if you're wanting to use social media, or like Gary said, if you're paying attention to people who work with you, sometimes they tell you what they're looking for. So, for instance, if you're in a service, right? And let's say if someone is interested in using your service. So I'm going to use an example of maybe if you're in a legal company, right? And maybe someone has something that they need a question answered, and you provide a legal service. So if you're paying attention to, maybe they put something on social media that, hey, if anybody knows, I have a problem that I have to ask a lawyer about, that's paying attention, so that you can tell that person, hey, I actually have a service that might help you, so you can talk to a lawyer at a certain cost. Or maybe right now we're in March, so in most of the country everyone's in the cold, right? So maybe you're thinking about the summertime, maybe you're thinking about planning that family vacation, and maybe if I was paying attention to a coworker or on Facebook, I see someone say something about, I want to plan a cruise. Anyone has any great tips or ideas on how to do that? Maybe if you were in a travel company, you can say, hey, I have a service that I actually provide that might help you. So that's kind of like paying attention. You pay attention to those little clues, because you kind of don't want to spam people who might not even be looking for anything that you're providing. But if you are paying attention, you can easily spark interest, because they actually put it out there that they were looking for that service or for that product that you provide. So that would be an easy way to talk to them about what you provide, what the service that you're with.
And then, and that's so true. And then following up with doing research, you'll know. Sometimes people are not motivated by money. I know people who make up, a lot of money, and they're happy with the money they're making in their job, but they're not happy with staying there. They want to supplement their retirement. So it kills me when someone goes to them and they go, hey, I want to show you how to make $1 million in a year. I want to show you how to make a couple of $1,000s a month. And this person already makes a six-figure income. So you're not doing your research. So why would that person care about making an extra couple of $1,000s? Maybe they want to join network marketing because they want to help other people who are not making $100,000 a year. I mean, this is a very great point. I remember one time Danny Johnson said this, and if you know who Danny Johnson is, you'll know who I'm talking about. She said, and she was on ABC's Secret Millionaire, and she said something really powerful. She said a lot of time people don't do their research, so what they do is they don't realize just because a person's a doctor or a lawyer and they're making a six-figure income doesn't mean that they always want to make another six-figure income. They might just be joining to help somebody else. So you got to think about that. So when you spark an interest, do your research. Find out what it is that they're really looking for. And the way you do that is it's so simple. Just start asking questions by being patient and listening carefully. A lot of times when people are sparking interest, guess what they're doing? They're throwing up all over people. And I don't mean to be so vivid, but what they're doing is they're throwing up all over them. And people do not like when people throw up all over you. You're constantly just going at them and going for the juggling, going for the, this and that. See, you got to learn how to be patient when you're talking to somebody, when you're prospecting somebody. You have to just be patient and see what it is that they, what are the needs that they have and what do they want. The way you do that is by listening carefully. And then one thing you need need to do is don't try to close them. I see so many people going straight for the juggler, going straight to close a person, going straight to try to get somebody to join their business right away, and say, hey, go to this link here and go to that link there. No, don't try to close them right away. Take your time. It's like a being on a date. I remember when I was dating Lynette, I didn't go straight for the juggler. You don't go straight for the juggler, because if I would have said, okay, in that first minute I met you, let's go in the bedroom, you're gonna lose. You can't do that. You gotta learn how to court them and date them and things like that. And same thing with a woman. A woman, if she's interested in a guy, she's not gonna say, hey, come jump in the bed with me right away. Guess what's gonna happen? She's gonna be looked at in a bad way. So you gotta understand, don't go straight for the juggler. Don't go straight for the kill. Don't try to close them right away. Take your time with them. See, I'm gonna give you some examples of how I spark interest and what works for me. Here are some examples. I always say, are you open to some ways, I always say, are you open to ways of making extra money if it didn't interfere with what you are currently doing? I ask them just like that. Are you open to ways of making extra money if it didn't interfere with what you're currently doing? You can ask them something like that and then wait for an answer. I call it WFA. Listen to what they're saying. Pay attention to what they're saying. Mentally write it down in your head. What is it? Here's another example. I just got started in something that I'm very excited about. Can I show it to you to see what you think? That's all you have to do. And then whatever it is they think, you can't get mad. If they say, I think it's okay, but it's not. I'm not interested. Don't get mad. Why? Because you can't say the right thing to the wrong person and the wrong thing to the right person. So just ask them. These are sparking interest questions because you already paid attention to what they were saying. You already did your research on that person, found out what their needs are, found out some things. You're not going to find out all their needs. You're just going to get that surface of the needs. You're going to be like a detective. You're just going to get that surface. You're going to understand some scenarios of what it is they need. And then your job is to come in there and then you throw them a question. If I could, I just got started in something that I'm very excited about. Can I show it to you to see what you think? Just to see. When people always want to know about them, the greatest, you have to understand, the greatest thing people love to talk about is what? Themselves. They love to talk about themselves. So they want to be able to help you and give you their thoughts on what it is that it is. And even if their thoughts are bad, they want to do that. But the thing is you spark an interest for them to look at it. Here's another example. I trust your opinion. Now, this is somebody you might know. You got to be careful because it might be somebody you know well. It could be a family member. It could even be your spouse. I trust your opinion. Can you review something I saw the other day and tell me I meant to say think. Sorry, that's typo there. What you think about it? Tell me what you think about it. I trust your opinion. Can you review something I saw the other day and tell me what you think about it? Think about that. That person's going to give you that scenario. Here's another one I like to use. My friend John shared something with me, and I thought you might benefit from it too. Can I show it to you? My friend John, that means someone else gave him something to take a look at, and he said, hey, I was thinking of you. I thought you might benefit. Can I show you it? See, these are some great examples. You should be writing these things down.
And yeah, exactly. And if you liked any of them, or if you have never used any of those, or if you like any of the four, I would take a screenshot right now.
Yeah, take a
Tell
screenshot
us if you
of
like any of those, because these are actually ones that we use. These are actually some that top leaders, we've gotten from top leaders. So trust me, they do definitely work. So if you haven't, take a screenshot so we can go on to the next slide.
All right, so we're going to go ahead now. This is the second thing you have to do. What is the second thing you have to do in the exposure process that reduces resistance and reduces rejection? Overcome objections. So easy. Spark interest over. I know these so I could be sedated and I'll be able to recite these in my sleep. Overcome objections. What are overcoming objections? Just answer their questions. That's all you have to do. You're just overcoming whatever objections they have on why they're not interested in joining your business by carefully and paying attention and listening carefully, answering their questions. You could just, but don't get defensive. I know people that get so defensive whenever, they ask them, hey, my friend John just showed me something, and I thought about you and I thought you might benefit from it. Can I show it to you? And then you show it to them and you send them to a video, you give them a DVD, or you send them to a brochure or whatever it is, and guess what happens? They say, I'm not really interested in this right now. And guess what you do? Well, why not? Well, no, that thing right there, I had a cousin that had joined that in 1969. They had 5 or 6 boxes in the garage that they still got there collecting dust. Well, who said that's going to happen to you? Stop getting defensive. So, find out what it is that find out what it is that caused that person to not continue in their network marketing business back in 1969, and just say, hey, with the new technology now, we found ways that's not going to happen, especially with social media. You'll be able to get the word out more. Don't get defensive. I can't stand when people do that. Why? Because people make decisions when they feel like they know enough about what they're getting into. Why did you join your network marketing company? You joined because you felt like you knew enough about what you was about to sign your name to. You felt like you knew enough about what you put your money investment into. You felt like you knew enough about it. Why do you buy certain things? You buy it because you felt like you know enough about how to use it.
And guys, if you don't mind, share with us, why did you initially join your company? Was it for the money? Was it for the community? Everyone, and it kind of gives you, by your answers, it kind of gives you an idea of what different type of people, what everyone kind of wants to join a company, because not everyone wants to join for money. Not everyone's going to want to join it for a community. There's different reasons why you initially join a company. You might want to be able to stay home with your children. You might want to just maybe relieve some stress from your spouse. There's all sorts of reasons. So those are the kind of objections that you have to figure out how to overcome. So that's why we're kind of giving you guys different ideas, because not everyone, if the whole world was the same, it would be a perfect world, but not everyone is the same. So that's why you kind of have an idea of why different people would join a company.
Exactly. And I want to give some shout out to some people. Jen Marie, thank you so much. Christy, Denise, thank you. Susan again. I think we have, who else is on here? Sarah. I'm not sure who else is on here, but thank you so much for showing up. And we love you guys. We appreciate you guys for showing up. But we're going to go ahead on now. So you have to always keep your posture. What posture should you keep? Have an I don't care if they join or not attitude. I remember Mr. Holmbugs, one of the top network marketers out there, making $1.something million per month. He said, I have a posture whether you join or not. I don't care if you join or not. Of course, you want them to join. And like he said, of course, he wanted them to join. But you got to have that posture of, I don't care whether you join or not. And think about what I'm getting ready to say. Bill Gates comes to you and he tells you, I want to know if you want to invest $50 into Microsoft before Microsoft got started, back when he first started Microsoft. And you told him, I don't know if I should invest $50. But he had a crystal ball for the future. And he knew that Microsoft was going to be where it is today. Do you think that he would have a posture of, please join me, please, please? Or would he have a posture of, guess what? You join. I mean, you buy the stock, you don't. You have to have that same attitude when you're overcoming objections, when you're answering questions. You can't be defensive. You just got to say, hey, well, in your mind. You don't say this to them, I don't care if you join or not. You have it in your mind. Your posture has to be one of where you're asking questions. And I'm going to give you follow up until. I'm going to give you some examples in the next slide. But you have to follow up until. A lot of people don't understand. You got to keep following up. What I always say, follow up until what? Until they tell you stop following up, or until they join. Let me read that back to you guys. Until they start following up, or until they join. And I'm reading that from the slides that are in my head. Follow up until. That's what you do. A lot of times people say, well, when should I stop following up? Lynette and I call you until you tell us to stop calling you. Lynette and I will call you until you join. One or the other. You have to follow up. That's your job. That's what you're supposed to do. You're a professional network marketer. Just like you're a professional 9-to-5 job person, you're a professional network marketer for you're the CEO of your company, your home business. You have to keep following up. That's the only way. And see, here is some examples. I'm going to give you some examples from 2 type of scenarios that I remember always running into all the time. Here's the first one. This is them. Is this one of those things where you get in and they get people in and then you make money? You ever heard that before?
And if you've never heard of that, I'm sure most of you have heard that. If you have, just type
pyramid scheme, stuff like that.
This stuff Gary is way, in the beginning, he was way more faster with his responses. But if anybody's like me, I was really shy. So these kind of objections like this used to throw me off because I never knew what to say when they responded like that. So if you ever heard anything like this, go ahead and type. If you ever heard of any of these examples, go ahead and type below. Because this one right here used to always catch me off guard because I never knew what to say.
I remember when I was a New York City correction officer and I worked on Rikers Island. And I remember some of my buddies, they're friends with me to this day. They used to always ask me, oh, it's one of those things that you get in and then you get people in and then, the one at the top makes all the money. Guess what my response used to be? At first it wasn't like that because I didn't know what to say. But guess what I did? I became a great student and I was learning all I could. So guess what my response was? Heck yeah, this is one of the best ways for everybody involved to make money. That's overcoming their objection. See, their objection is doing nothing but this. It's testing you to see how much passion, how much dedication, how much commitment you have to pursuing your opportunity. That's all their objection is. Their objection is just testing to see how much passion, how much dedication, how much commitment that you are willing to put in for your business opportunity. They want to see if you got some, and I don't want to say the word, but it starts with a B and ends with an LS. That they want to see how much you got towards your business opportunity. But if you respond like how I would, heck yeah, that's one of the best ways for everyone involved to make money. I want somewhere when somebody gets somebody in, they're making money, and then they're making money, and that's why I love network marketing so much. Affiliate marketing is great, but I love network marketing way more. Why? Because in network marketing, I get paid to introduce somebody to the opportunity, and then when they get somebody in, they get paid, and I get paid too for just introducing them. And then that person brings somebody, and then that person gets paid, and then that person gets paid, and then that. I love it. And then I get paid. I love that. So heck yeah, that's one of the best ways for everybody involved to make money.
And one of the things you can add to that is if they come, you can also say this, if you come in after me, you can make way more money than me. So it really doesn't matter when you come in, when somebody starts, they can surpass you just based on how much work they put into it. So you can say that too, that they can make way more money than you, that it doesn't really matter.
So guys, tell me how this is going. Are you loving these objections? Because I got one more that used to hit me all the time. If you like it, I see Denise said that she loved it. She heard this before. Don't know what to say. Well, guess what you do? Jen Marie says she heard it. She's shy. Well, Jen, after you I guarantee, if you're a shy person and somebody knows you're shy and you hit them with this in response, heck yeah, that's one of the best ways for everybody involved to make money. You mean to tell me you wouldn't want to make money when everybody on your business team is making money? Tell them like that. When you respond like that, they're going to drop, their jaw is going to drop, and they're going to say, holy moly. And then they're going to look at you as a professional business owner. They're going to know that you're serious. They're going to know that you got passion about your opportunity. They're going to know. See, people test your opportunity. They test to see how much passion you have for it. If somebody asks me about whether or not, I remember Todd Falcone, one of the powerful network marketing trainers out there, one of my mentors. I call him an indirect mentor because he don't know who I am to this day, but I know him. I always say, I remember one time somebody asked him, is that what they said? Is that one of those things, those network marketing things? He said, heck yeah, if it wasn't network marketing, I wouldn't be involved. That's how you got to respond. You got to respond with that much conviction about your opportunity because people are testing it.
And just to add to you, Jen, because like I said, I was shy too. It's more so the response. If you stutter or say, that's where they get you. Because they're not going to believe anything you say. You have to know exactly, you have to be prepared to what you're going to say back to them so that they can't throw you off. Because I was that person that used to be, I would get stuck. Gary always knew how to come back to them really fast. I was the one that always got stuck as, oh gosh, but you have to know exactly what Gary said. You have to be convicted in your company. You have to know that the company that you're with, that's how you are going to be financially free. So it doesn't really matter what question they give you. Just know exactly how to respond to it. So you can memorize this one as one that you can respond back to, or have something similar. So it doesn't have to be this one verbatim, but you have to have some sentence or some response in sense in your head, whether you're talking to them on social media, whether in person. You have to know how to come back to them right away, because it's that departure of not saying anything or stuttering that's where you lost that person if you stutter. And believe me, I lost plenty of people because I was the shy one out of both of us. But you have to be, even if you're wrong, you have to say something right away or say something quick, because it's that space of a gap of no speak is where you throw that other person off, and they're like, oh, she doesn't even know what she's talking about.
And you know how I was able to come back fast? It wasn't because I wasn't shy. Yeah, I was shy. You're talking to a guy who's short, and he was heavy when I was young and wore braces and had buck teeth when I was young. I was very introvert to talk to people and get out there and become a leader. But you know what I did? I drilled for skill. I drilled for skill. And how did I drill for skill? I would be in my bathroom when I was young, when I was older, and I would practice myself talking to myself. And guess what? I would be my hardest objection person. I'd be like, listen, what's wrong with you? Why? I'm not joining you. Are you kidding? And guess what my response be? Okay, great. Do you know anyone else who might be interested in making some extra money from home? If it didn't interfere with what they were doing. That I started practicing that stuff over and over and over. I would practice it with my eyes closed, with my eyes open. I would wear a hat. I would put glasses to the side. I would put something on. I would disguise myself. I would borrow somebody's wig if I knew a female friend. I would put it on, act like I was talking to a female. I drilled for skill over and over and over until I was able to say these things second nature. And I see, Susan, yes, I see that you love that response. Use it all over and over again. And I love it. Denise, thank you. Use that. The responses work. Trust me. You have to practice it over and over and over and over again. That's how I did it. I just kept practicing. Let me give you another one. Oh, the next one to say something.
And just to add to that, let's just say if they ask you a technical question, maybe you just started the company, or maybe you really don't know how to respond. You can say something like, that's a great question. I'm going to get back to you. I'm going to find out the answer, and I'm going to get right back to you, and then go on to the next thing.
Exactly. Don't act. If you show them any sign of weakness, they got you. Think about when your kid is telling you, I really want to get this, Mommy, you're going to get it. And you know that the game they want or that console they want is so much money and you don't have it yet. What are you going to do? They know they're going to keep asking. They're going to keep asking. You got to say straight, I don't have it right now. When I get it, you'll get it. You got to be straight with your answers, because if you don't, like she said, that pause is what gets you. Let me give you another scenario. This is what tell me who on this webinar right now has not got the money objection yet? If you haven't got the money objection, please type in that I have not received the money objection, so that way I can make sure I let the government know that you're an alien. Because every human being that's in network marketing has got the money objection. How much does it cost? Because I don't want to spend any money. I don't have any money. Guess what? People say that all the time. They say it to me all the time. They say it now to me. How much money does it cost? Because I don't have I don't want to spend any money. Guess what I always say? Like all businesses, there is an upfront investment. But you know what? I'm glad it's not free. Because if it was, everyone would join. Then there would be no room for us to grow. I tell them that just like that. I'm not afraid. I go straight for it. Why? Because I always say everybody at the top is not going to get to the top. That's why when you look to your left and you look to your right, there's so much room, because not everybody is willing to do what it takes to get to the top. Not everybody's willing to stay motivated enough. Not everybody's willing to stay dedicated enough. So guess what I always tell them? I'm so glad that it costs money. I'm glad that it is an investment. Why? Because not everybody going to do it. Not everybody going to pay it. So when they say, well, how much does it cost? I don't never say, well, it costs $500 or it costs $1,000 or it costs $10 or $25 or $147 or $100. I never say that. I always say, well, like all businesses, there is an upfront investment. But you know what? I'm glad it's not free, because if it was, everyone would join, and then there would be no room for us to grow. I say that all the time. And they say, okay, that makes sense. And then I'll follow up with, does that make sense? And then they'll say, yes. They ain't hear nothing about the upfront business. All they heard was no room to grow. That's all they heard. They just heard no room to grow. No room for us to grow. And guess what they said? Well, you know what? That does make a lot of sense. So you agree with me, right? Okay, well, great. Well, the upfront investment, since this is a business and it's your business, it's going to be your home business, is $499 to get started. It's $199 to get started. It's $999 to get started. Now do you see why I'm glad that it's not free? because not everybody's going to pay that. And that means the ones that pay it, we're going to grow together. And we're going to grow to a business. We're going to make millions of dollars while everybody else is afraid to pay that initial upfront investment. I go right with it because I know that I got to have that posture whether or not they want to join or not. I got to have that posture that, see, everybody, the reason why a lot of people don't prospect people, and I'm going to give you a reason why. They're afraid of the money question. They're afraid to tell them how much it's going to cost. They're afraid of their response. I'm not afraid. You can't be afraid.
And be honest, guys. How many of you have gotten afraid of that money question? How many? Like, I know I used to get scared when someone asked me how much it cost because I really didn't know what to say back to them. So if that question has never bothered you or has never thrown you off or has thrown you off, let us know, because I know for me that one used to throw me off all the time.
And I hear you, Jen Marie. I hear what you're saying. I actually had got involved in a network marketing company. I actually didn't buy the products, but I actually bought the products, but I didn't get involved in the business aspect of it. But it helped me lose about close to 60 pounds. I'll never forget. I mean, I was so big, and then I used the products, and I would show them before and after pictures. And you know what? You have to stay strong. When people tell you that your pictures are fake or they say that can't be true, you got to say, well, you know what, it is. And then, if you don't believe me, I'm sorry. And then you move on. That's what you do. Next. Even if that next is your spouse, even if that next is your family member, even if that's your brother, your sister, your cousin, mother, father, move on. I'm surprised you think, well, you know what? If you really think these pictures are fake, why don't you catch the next plane out here where I live and come look? And then you'll see. I mean, and that's all I can tell. Have the posture whether you care if they join or not. You know what you did. You know what you accomplished. You got to have that conviction. Because when somebody asks you a question about and they give you an objection, it's just them testing to see how convicted you are and how committed you are and how dedicated you are to your business opportunity. You got to respond like, hey, I don't care if they join or not.
And just to answer Jen too, a lot of the things somebody wouldn't say that to your face. So a lot of social media puts a lot of muscle into people that probably wouldn't say those things to your face. So you gotta, like Gary said, you kind of ignore those people because they weren't looking to join your business anyway. They might be just trying to throw you off. So don't spend at all any time on those kind of people.
Move on.
Move on to the next person. If they think it's fake, well, you know what? It'll be fake pictures in the bank.
Yeah, exactly.
So it doesn't really matter.
They'll be still looking at your fake pictures while you're at the bank cashing your checks. That's how I look at it. And Susan, just to let you know, yes, some companies do have a very low cost up front. But you know what? There's companies out there you could join for free. And I still know people who have objections about it. Well, if it's free, then it's too good to be true. You know what? You might be right. It is too good to be true. But everybody who joins for free, guess what? They all don't make a lot of money. I plan on making a lot of money. Do you want to join me? You got to learn how to come back at them. You got to learn how to stay strong. You got to have that posture when you're overcoming these objections. And believe it or not, people will follow your convictions. Some people will just join you, even if it's free or if it costs $1,000, based on your commitment to it. You have to show them that you committed. And when you show them, they will go. So learn how to use these steps when you're overcoming objections, and I guarantee you will get to the next level. Let's go on to the next thing. The next thing is this. Close. What is a close? Give them a call to action. So simple. Give them a call to action. What is a call to action? Just walk them through the process. I hate when people say, hey, go here and you can join. No, I don't care if you live here or if it's an international business and we can do business. Our company, one of our companies does business in Japan. If it's somebody in Japan, I will be on Google Translate and I would say, can you please, Google, how do you say, go to your computer now and I'll walk you through the process. And Google's going to translate in Japanese and going to say, whatever it's going to say. And believe me, I don't know how to say it, sorry, but it's going to say whatever. And guess what? I'm going to walk that person through the process because I'm closing professionally. I'm a professional closer. And you got to be a professional closer. And that's what closing is. It's giving them a call to action. Tell them what their next steps are. People join and then they say, go ahead and join. And then they leave them. And then they don't, well, this person joined. I got the bonus. I won't see him for another week or so.
Like, and just to give you guys an idea of what the next steps are, like in our company, we have a fast start steps, right? There's like 4 or 5 things that they have to do in the very beginning, like watch videos, presentations, things like that, just to make sure that they get themselves up. What if your company doesn't have like fast start steps, right? What if you don't know what to do? In the previous company my husband Gary and I were in, they didn't really have a fast start step. So we created our own fast start step. We set up a website where we had different videos where we recorded the first things that they should do when they first join the company, and then they move on. We show them how to play, how to do orders online, how to set up their website. So if your company has it, send them there right away. Or if you have to, in some cases, you might have to create those next steps. Create them, but put it in a place where you can just send your new reps to. So this is not something that you would have to continue to do for each person. But if your company doesn't have a website where they can follow those steps, or maybe you might have to create like a PDF cheat sheet to have something where they have some place to go, follow those steps, and then you can help them work through, get their first customers, get their first recruits. You can continue, but have one place, set of steps somewhere online, on a website, on a PDF, where they can just follow and continue, so that you're not wasting so much time in those first next steps.
And why do you want to do this? Why do you want to have, make sure you spark interest? Why make sure that you overcome objections and learn how to close properly? Why are you doing this? You're doing this because you want to duplicate what you're doing. I call it WDMD. What duplicates makes dollars. You want to be able to have your teammate do the exact same 3 powerful ways, and then you want their teammate to do the exact way of 3 powerful ways. Why? Because if think about this, if everybody right now on your team, on your business, I don't care if it's one person, was watching this webinar and they implemented exactly what we told them, and they went out there and made $100, and then they taught someone else to do that same thing and they made $100, how much money would that make for you? Think about that. How much over an override would you make off of that? So that's why you want to teach them how to do these simple ways, these simple, powerful ways, because you want them to also show them what the next steps are. Like Lynette said, there was times our former company didn't have they had steps, but these steps were so generic, so you wound up getting lost in the middle. Guess what we did? We streamlined it. We streamlined exactly what it was that they needed to do, and we walked our teammates to it, and that's what happened. That's how come we grew it so big. So that's what you want to do. You got to help them create a realistic game plan. If they come out and they say, hey, well, I want to make $1 million in the next year. No, I'm sorry, you're not. You may and you may not. I don't know. But guess what? How about we try to make at least $1,000 a month? How about we do that? And then when they make that $1,000, say, how about we try to make $5,000 a month? Create a realistic game plan for them. Then spend time with them until they feel comfortable to work enough to work by themselves. See, you have to look. I remember one time one of my big favorite mentors back in Valley Stream, New York, on Long Island, New York. He told me this, and I'll never forget. Cliff, you're the man. I'm always going to remember what you told me. He said, you got to look that, Cliff, like I say his name, full name, I got to give him the credit. Cliff Malloy, thank you so much for this. I love what he said. He said something really, really powerful to me. He said, when you first get somebody in, they're like infants. And then you teach them a little bit, and they don't know what they're doing. Then they start learning a little bit, and they learn how to walk a little bit on their own. Then they become toddlers, and then you back up a little bit and let them walk. And then they become they can become like a little bit older, and you leave them a little bit more. Then they become teenagers, and you let them go a little bit more. And then they become adults. And guess what? The ones who stick around and become adults, they wind up being your 6-figure income earners on your business team. He said that's exactly what you have to do. You have to stick around and spend time with them. Don't just leave them in the win and let them just go do whatever they're going to do. Spend time with them until they feel comfortable enough where they can do it on their own. However, there is a warning about that. What is the warning? Don't do the work for them. I know so many people want it for their teammates so bad. They want their teammates to make it, but guess what? Their teammates don't want it. I just had a private coaching call with our clients, and I got a little coachy. I got very cold. I went locker room on them, and I said, you guys got to show up on time. You don't have a webinar at a certain time and show up 45 minutes later. Because what if something happened and you miss out on that one little nugget that can get you to the next level? So I don't do the work for you. I'm telling you what you need to do, because if it was me, I would show up 10 minutes early. I would show up 15 minutes early. Why? Because I want the lifestyle that my coach has. I want that lifestyle. So you got to learn how not to do the work for them.
And just to add to that, because you don't want to spend way too much time doing work for them, send them when they have to, send them to your customer support. So let's say if it's something that your company can answer for them, you don't want to be the go-to person for everything. If it's something that your company has a customer service support team that they can just call to answer that same question, make sure you're sending them to that company. Make sure you, right off the bat, they know that number, because you want them to, remember, if you have 1,000 people on your team, there's no way that you can answer 1,000 phone calls or 1,000 texts answering the same thing that they can probably call your customer service for. So make sure that they know the number. Obviously, if customer service is telling them the wrong thing, then you can help them on that. But there's so much that they'll use, you don't want your team, you being the person that's spending so much time away that you're not building because you're answering simple things that they can get answered right in customer support.
So guys, how are we doing so far? Give me some likes if you're on your cell phone. Give me some hearts. Give me some thumbs up if you like what we're saying so far. See, the reason why we're telling you not to do the work for them, because unfortunately, there are some needy people out there. There's some very needy people. You probably recruited some. You probably were one at one point. There are definitely some needy people out there. And the reason why you don't want the needy people out there, you want the greedy people. You don't want the needy people. See, I want greedy people. I want people who are hungry. I don't want people who are needy on my team. Why is that? Because you're looking to build leaders, not followers. You're looking to build a team. See, I want to build an army, an empire of leaders, not an empire of followers. I don't want people always following me. I want people who, when there's a question that's a very simple question that can be answered, they go to customer support and they get that question answered. They don't come to me. I love when I have somebody on my team and they say, well, I say, well, like we have our team call, hey, was there any struggles that you guys went? Yeah, I had a problem with this, but guess what? I called customer support and they took care of it for me, so now it's working. I applaud that person. I attaboy that person to death. Why? Because I'm looking for leaders, not followers. Leaders, not followers. So I hope that makes some sense. Let's move on. Let me give you a call to action. Now, if you're not sure about what to do and you may need some help getting started, you maybe don't have the right kind of upline, think about hiring a coach. See, we have 2 powerful coaching programs that are designed to get you off to a fast start, to help you get more leads and more recruits, especially if you like what we're saying right now. We have our first coaching program, which is our intensive coaching program. It's a very intensive 5-week one-on-one where we speak to you, and I'll get into the details. If you're interested, I'll tell you how to get that. Also, we have our second one, which is our ongoing coaching program, which is longer than 5 weeks. It's as long as you want. It's month to month. However long you want to work with us, we help you until you get to where you want to be. I always have to ask people this next question. What have you got to lose? If you're not getting the right help and you love what we're saying and you love what we're teaching you, then guess what? Make sure you go out there and think about hiring somebody. Get somebody on your team that can help you. Somebody that's in your corner. Somebody that's ready to help you get to the next level. What you can do is you can visit whoisgarybledsoe.com/coaching-program, or just go to whoisgarybledsoe.com and click on coaching program. That way you can find out exactly the details, see how much is the investment, see exactly what it's all about. Or you can just go and email us at garybledsoe0@gmail.com, or just read it from the screen right here. And take a screenshot if you want. Maybe you want to think about this later on in the year. Screenshot this real quick and then type coaching program details, and we can gladly get that for you. Now we're going to go on. Before Lynette has something to say, but we're going to give you your bonus, so make sure you stay on. And
I know a few of you have asked me about this. Just to let you guys know, we could only take 10 people at a time, and I know right now
it's 5 for the intensive. Okay. It's going to be 5 for the intensive. Yeah, so we can only take a handful of people at a time, only because and 15 for the ongoing.
We want to give you guys our full attention and make sure you guys get benefit from it. So that's why we can. If we have to put a waiting list, we'll let you know if we have to do that. But just let you know, if you are interested, just email and we'll send you the information so you can get started right away. But we may have to do like a waiting list.
And just to let you know, also, when you go to the coaching program, I don't want you to take our word for it. I want you to go scroll down, make sure you watch the videos of the people we have actually 3 videos. We have more that's going to be coming of some of the people who are taking advantage of our coaching program and what they've learned so far and how it's helping them. Also, you you can visit, there's a testimonial page on whoisgarybletsoe.com called Praise. You click that and you see all the people that we've helped over the years, because we love what we do and we love helping people. So let's move right on. Let's give you that bonus here. Now, remember I told you that there's going to be some things that you need to say when somebody, when you're trying to prospect somebody and you're opening, you're trying to get to spark interest, and you say certain things like, what is it that you say? You say, hey, if I could show you some ways of making some extra money if it didn't currently interfere with what you're currently doing, or hey, I just got started in something I'm very excited about. I want to know if I can show it to you. Tell me what you think. Well, if you don't think that those things can help you and you want to know more things, you need to know more things to say when you're prospecting recruits. Guess what? I have a treat for you. My foster mentor, he used to be my upline, Mr. Millionaire Income. I don't call this guy a millionaire income producer. I call him a millionaire maker. This guy is a millionaire mentor, a millionaire maker, Mr. Brian Carellis. You don't believe me? I want you to Google his name. This guy is phenomenal. I mean, me and my wife had the pleasure of meeting him in Florida. Sorry, Fort Myers, Florida. I'm trying to remember where we were, and it was just so surreal. If you go to my Facebook personal page, you'll see a picture with us with him. I mean, this guy is phenomenal, and he has a free PDF, of opening lines that you can use. I mean, and it is unbelievable.
And just to give you guys, there's like a whole bunch of opening lines on this PDF, but I just want to give you guys just one of the opening lines. So if you're going to write it down, go ahead. If you don't want the PDF, that's fine, but at least you can get one. So one of the opening lines that he has is, who do you know who works a lot of hours and would be open to looking at an opportunity to earn more money while working less? Now, tell me if that doesn't spark interest. Who wants to make more money working less? Right? I know I would have my hands raised for that one.
So that's really powerful, and you can use it. And also subscribe to his page, Foster Mentor. It's a foster, like foster kids, foster care mentor.com. Go there and take a look at some of the stuff that he's one of my mentors. He's one of the people I learned from. This guy has over 400,000 people in his business team. So that's somebody that you definitely want to follow. Make sure you contact us. Email us at GaryBledsoe0@gmail, and make sure you don't put coaching program details. If you want this free PDF, put opening lines in the subject line, please, because I've had people that actually ask for coaching program details, and I have an email that goes straight out for that, and like an autoresponder, and for some reason they're not realizing that they're getting the wrong information. And I want to make sure you get this free PDF. We want to give this to you for just listening to us tonight, for staying on all the way to the end, to let us be able to get into your living rooms, get into your family rooms, or wherever it is, your computers, your phone, your tablet, and just be able to help you out. So thank you so much for that. I truly appreciate it. And then here are your next steps. What I want you to do is, and see, like we told you, we don't just close you just to close you. We close you by giving you your next steps. Get more details regarding our coaching program. And then I want you to also use the 3 powerful ways to expose people. Use these 3 powerful ways. Make sure you're sparking interest. Make sure you're overcoming objection. And make sure you're closing people the proper way by just, giving them a call to action. That's very, very powerful. Make sure you also get a copy of those opening lines, so that way you can have more than one way to spark somebody's interest. That way you can have several ways to spark people's interest. Very, very important. And then what I want you to do is make sure you join us next week, because at next week, this exact same time, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern, guess what? We're going to be doing another live training webinar. And I think we have a treat that weekend. I'm not really sure. We're going to be interviewing. Oh, it's not that weekend?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, maybe it's next. That's right. She's on vacation. But the weekend after that, we're going to be having a treat. But we're just trying to give you as much stuff we can. So we'll leave that surprise for later. But just make sure you join us. We're going to have some more Power Pack stuff to make sure we give you out there. And if you want to get daily tips from us, over on the left side of the Facebook page, on our business page, you'll see email signups. Make sure you put your email in there so we can give you all of our updates, our daily tips, everything that we have to out there. And we thank you all so much for following us. And if you are following us, under the following tab, you can actually click on for the live notifications. That way you never, ever, 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 ever miss another live. So I want to thank all of you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. We love you all. We definitely want to see you where? at the top, because when you look to the left and you look to the right, there is not a lot of people up there, because not a lot, almost all the people, 98% to 97% of the population is afraid to get to the top. That's why the 3% run the world. So you want to be a part of that 3%. So we look forward to seeing you. Thank you so much. Have a great night.
And feel free, guys, if you share this video with anyone who might get value, feel free to share. Share this with your teammates. We'll definitely see you guys next Sunday.
All right. Have a good one. Talk to you guys later and enjoy.